So next up, very importantly, we'll have Pietro Poretti, Director of City of Lugano, and Paolo Bortolin, Deputy CFO and Vice Director of the Finance Division. They are, actually Paolo was the one when we did last time the Web3 Banking Symposium, actually in another part of Switzerland. He was the one coming up to us and saying, why don't we do this same again, even bigger, even better in Lugano. So it was our pleasure, and we have been planning it out for the last, I would say, like months, 3 months, 4 months, or even more. And so therefore, we're very glad, and also the entire location is coming with the support of the City of Lugano, which we're very proud of. So let me give the stage to Paolo and Pietro to speak and close with their speech before we head into the lunch break. Enjoy.
Good morning, everybody. I hope you had a very interesting morning. I think speeches were very high level. All the speakers were fantastic. So we tried to close this morning with a 10-minute talk between me and Pietro.
Maximum 10 minutes.
Maximum 10 minutes,
hopefully
because we have the lunch waiting, so we will try to short as much as possible. So, Pietro, a question for you. Why did we choose this title, Lugano between traditional finance and innovation?
Good question. Thank you. Thank you, Paolo. Because we believe that Lugano remains a main financial hub in Switzerland. At the same time, we believe that this hub is facing several challenges. Above all, limited access to natural markets for Ticino-based financial institutions. And this highlights the need for strategic innovation. It is crucial for us to explore new markets, new niche markets, I would say, and try to develop solutions that are tailored to the evolving needs of clients, right? We understand very well that those needs are not immutable. You cannot keep offering the same services the same way you have been doing it for decades, in a successful manner, of course, but things change, right? You need to adjust, you need to adapt and be ready to serve new needs that those clients may have. And how to do that, right? You can do that if you understand how to fully leverage the technology, and that allows you also to possibly enhance the efficiency of your existing operations. This is why you ask yourself, what is the role of the municipality? Because Paolo and I today are representing a municipality, eine Gemeinde, no? in Commune. Well, we help facilitating dialogue between, on the one hand, tech companies, innovators, we could say, and the more traditional banking operators. And today's event is a good example of what we've been trying to do.
Perfect, thank you. We prepared just one slide because I think you have seen many slides this morning. We could speak the whole day about what we have done. We tried to summarize in 4 points, which are probably the most important points. So, Pietro, tell us what we have done since 2020 up to today.
The highlights, Paolo. The highlights only, which I think are quite well reflected on the slide, starting from the Luga payment token. Luga payment token, I would say, was the first encounter of the city administration with DLT, with the blockchain technology, let's say. We've chosen that technology to provide an answer during a particularly challenging time, which was the first month of 2020, which we all remember. Our intervention was mainly in support of the retail distribution sector, a sector that overall, I would say, but particularly in this part of Switzerland, suffered greatly from the pandemic, which included, as you remember or don't remember, I don't know, the lockdowns, of course, the consumer base shifting more and more toward electronic commerce platforms. We also have a particular dynamic with our neighbor, Italy, when it comes to retail and the Swiss franc euro exchange rate is not always in favor of local retailers, as you can imagine. So we tried to find a way to support a sector that was struggling greatly. And this is how we came up with the idea of a payment token called Luga, the payment token, which is issued today by close to 500, between 450, 500 partners of our network in the form of a cashback. And that payment token can only be spent within the territory of the municipality.
Which is a choice, by the way.
It's a choice, of course. It's a choice, and it has grown quite significantly since. We have over 22,000 active wallets. We recently completed the affiliation to a new SRO, which we are subject to. I believe that Lugano remains the only Gemeinde, the only municipality that is a financial intermediary, and therefore has to be supervised by an SRO. And since the beginning of February, we are now affiliated to VQF, whom I believe many of you know. So we have done the same type of onboarding process that many of you have done for your projects.
Amazing results with this token, and it's probably the only one city token in the world which is working very well. We have an adoption of about 30% of the population using it, at least sometimes, but they have active wallets. So Pietro, tell us more now about the second point, for instance, Plan B.
Right. I believe that Plan B is what really helped putting Lugano on the Web3 map globally, gives us a lot of visibility. I don't think I need to provide too many details about Plan B. Most of you know what Plan B is. Many of you have attended one or more editions of the Plan B Forum here at Palazzo dei Congressi at the end of October. That's when Plan B Forum takes place. You know, it's a joint initiative with Tether. It's therefore, I believe, a quite successful example of a private or public-private partnership. And today we are happy to say that all the areas that we had announced in the month of March of 2022, all the areas of Plan B have been either achieved or almost achieved. And those includes, of course, beside having a forum, an yearly forum that is growing in importance, in relevance, and attracted last year, I believe, close to 2,000 people. We have a well-functioning hub called the POW space, Proof of Work space, in the city center, and I encourage you all to visit the hub. I believe the two managers of the hub are in the room. I see Matteo or Emanuele, right? Emanuele, right, there he is. For a visit, he's available. You can ask him during your stay in Lugano. Please visit the hub. We have funds that support startups that decide to move their activities to Lugano. We have several education activities, of course, as well. And let me say, Paolo, that the de facto legal tender that we had, we proudly announced in March of 2022. It's still going strong, and it's also reflected in the unlimited possibility to pay taxes and any other
invoice issued by the City of Lugano today can be paid with Bitcoin, Bitcoin Lightning, and Tether. And that's really probably, once again, probably the only one city in the world which really full acceptance with no limits in the amount. Since here we are talking to bankers and etc., fully regulated in the sense that, you know, we checked everything, we can do it. We are a municipality, we follow all the rules, but it's there. Every municipality, every canton, even the Swiss Confederation, if they want, they can just put their camera on the site, turn on the button, and it's there. So adoption is just there to be picked.
Yes, and allow me, before we move to the next question, to mention another project that I consider it a quite good example of this pioneering, right? A very innovative approach of the municipality. It originally started under the name of 3A-Chain, Proof of Authority, we call it institutional blockchain. It's really a city-led project, this one, that has helped, I believe, increasing, first of all, of course, the visibility of the City of Lugano when it comes to DLT, but also enabled us to learn a great deal internally, right, in-house, to acquire experience, to acquire knowledge. I will come back to this point later, if I may.
Wonderful.
Paolo.
Oh, tell me.
I see something else
Okay.
SDX. Can you tell us what that is? Why did we put SDX on this slide?
That's also one of the amazing projects we have done. This is, let's say, I was responsible for this since working for the finances of the City of Lugano. I'm also responsible for issuing bonds. So, Lugano, unfortunately, has high debt level, 1 billion. So regularly we issue bonds on the market. So once we started Plan B, and we decided to adopt the blockchain and DLT technology, and then suddenly SDX shows up. We had some representative for SDX this morning. They explained very well what they are doing. And we say, well, I cannot issue another traditional bond. I have to do it in the digital form. We have SDX, which is the first world fully regulated digital exchange. Now they are mixing up and reorganizing because it makes sense to do it. But in Switzerland, we will continue with digital asset and digital bonds. That's perfect. So I show up in the market and asking to the banks who were participating, I want to do a digital bond. At that time, there was only one done by SIX itself. And then UBS, the second one, which UBS was one of the 3 participants on the platform. And then suddenly somebody from Lugano calls the bank, say, I want to do a digital bond. Like, really? I say, yes, we are adopting blockchain. You are working on the DLT. Let's do it together. To me, it was quite simple to do it. I imagine that, it's a normal process of issuing a bond. Well, very bad mistake. In my career, I issued probably 3 billion in bonds. It takes me normally an hour. It took me between an hour and 2 hours to get ready for a bond, then announcing, opening up the book building, and 1 to 2 hours later, closing up everything, and that's fine. This time, it took me between 4 and 5 months to get ready, just because I really under-evaluated the fact that we are rated by Moody's. And Moody's say, yes, interesting, but by the way, this is a new platform, so let's talk about potential additional material risks. Say, okay. Yeah, it's a good point. To me, it was kind of normal, but it's not. So we spent three months with Moody's, CKB, and SDX to go deep in the technology, in everything, really. The analysts from Moody's, they were so professional, immersed in the technology. They were making questions that I really didn't understand. And the other side, they really gave answers which I didn't really not understand. But anyway, at the end of the day, we got the rating. There was the same rating. That was a big concern. Will be the rating the same level? If not, just stop everything and forget SDX. But it was the same rating. Then other challenges came up. What about the investor? Will they buy a digital bond? They don't even know what a digital bond is, right? Nobody has purchased one before. And we talked to 25 investors, explaining them the project, explaining them why Lugano was doing this. And then honestly, the last sentence on this meeting was, well, I gave you some interesting information, but the reality is, please underwrite this bond, because here we are doing history for Switzerland. We have a digital exchange. We have to use it. We have to show to the world that we are the first in the world to do this, and do this not for Lugano, do this for Switzerland, for SDX, for SIX, for the bank, for the financial sector. And they did it. So the last challenge was the spread. Will the investor ask for a higher spread? Who knows? So we launched it, and we got exactly the same spread that we had before. No additional cost. Perfect project. This brought us a huge visibility around the world. Since the beginning, that was January 23, we got calls from Japan, from Taiwan, from Thailand, from the US, and a couple of delegations, one from Japan came to visit us for this, and from Thailand also. We went to Quincy, which is South Boston, because they would like to issue also a digital bond. That was September 23, and we discussed a lot about this, and actually Quincy, City of Quincy, is the first digital bond in the US has been issued by Quincy. So we're kind of twins now. And we discuss, not every week, but almost with those guys. Amazing. So this brought a lot of connection around the world and a lot of visibility for Lugano.
Impressive, Paolo.
But
and maybe what is next?
What is next? This is you. What is next?
And it's just that time is out. So
so big like this, time is out. You cannot see it, but it's out.
2 messages before lunch from our side. The first one is that we're really convinced that Lugano stands to benefit greatly from greater integration into the Swiss Web3, more broadly speaking, I would say fintech ecosystem, right? We are on the southern side of the Alps. We try to create synergies, integrate as much as possible in whatever else is happening statewide in Switzerland. So events like this one, events like the Web3 Banking Symposium, this is, allow me to say, is also why we were so adamant to bring this event to Lugano after the first very successful edition in Geneva, of course, which is a very important banking and financial hub in Switzerland. But we really wanted this event to be here in 2025. And so what we will continue doing as municipality, but of course also alongside companies based here in Lugano, we want to continue enhancing our visibility in the rest of the country. We want to engage as much as possible, actively, of course, in discussions across various platforms. This may include academia, of course, among industry associations as well. There are several that are doing a really good job in promoting the industry, in facilitating this industry. Of course, also participate in coordinated dialogue with ultimately the decision makers, and that includes, of course, the Swiss Parliament, the Swiss federal authorities, the regulator, a very, very important player as well in this sector. Allow me the last message. About 2 weeks ago, here at Palazzo dei Congressi, the municipality unveiled Swiss Ledger. You see the logo. Swiss Ledger is the evolution of 3A-Chain. 3A-Chain, the institutional blockchain that I mentioned, right? The original one was launched in November of 2021 at the other conference center that we have here in Lugano. So now we have a Swiss Ledger, which supports secure, scalable, tamper-resistant, of course, financial applications. It also utilizes a proof of authority consensus model as much as 3A-Chain. And by doing so, Swiss Ledger enables use cases, digital notarization. It's an important one. And we know there are companies also in Lugano that are very active in that field. The interoperability with existing financial systems. There is a project on Swiss Ledger called Swiss Digital Key. That's another big one by the City of Lugano that introduces a secure digital identity as well as a signature solution that can, as you can imagine, help streamlining contracts, banking services. At the end of the day, we're convinced that Swiss Ledger can support open banking, which is something that I believe in Switzerland deserves more attention.
And this is
by
probably
everybody.
in the context of Lugano building the bridge between fintech and traditional financial.
That is really the underlying theme, also the underlying objective.
Pietro, I think we are really
we're
out
over.
of
We're
time.
over.
Yeah.
Let me just signal that if during the lunch break you want to know more about Swiss Ledger, about Swiss Digital Key, we have in the room Lorenzo Barisone, who is managing this, and feel free to approach him, of course, for more details about this exciting, another project by the City of Lugano we're very proud of.
So we try to stay active, a lot of work, but we are still here, we will be here.
And the final word is yours, and nice socks, Paolo.
Oh, thank you. Actually, this is a gift from Crypto Valley Association. Maybe you can see the logo. Thank you to Nick and Saskia for this kind gift. But I really would like to thank the whole team of Crypto Valley for this amazing organization. Thank you for coming to Lugano once again, and thank you to all the guys and girls and the team. Amazing. Thank you very much for this very first time of collaboration. Thank you.